Hello guys, welcome to this video. My name is Dave Kennedy, and in this video I'm going to explain to you how you can set up your Laravel project. So let us go through what we are going to cover in this video. So in this video we will look at what is Laravel. So Laravel is a PHP framework used for building web applications. Laravel is known for its elegant syntax, built-in authentication, powerful ORM, and robust security. Laravel 11 is the latest version, offering you better performance, simplified routing, and a streamlined setup. So what next again? We are going to learn why use Laravel. So Laravel is modern and scalable. Laravel has a blade templating, which makes building the front end easy. Laravel has built-in security, such as the CSRF protection and authentication. Laravel supports RESTful APIs easily. The next thing that we look at is requirements for installing Laravel 11. So for you to run Laravel 11, these are the system requirements that you need. You need PHP version 8.2. You need Composer, which is the dependency manager for PHP. You need a database. So in this video, we will be using MySQL database. And then we also need the Node package manager for frontend. And then lastly, we are going to use Git, which is optional. And another thing that I have not listed here is a browser where we are going to see the result of our project. So these are the things that we are going to install. So we are going to install a composer, we are going to install XAMPP, which is going to install for us PHP, and then we will install Laravel using the composer, and then create a Laravel app, and all those. So for this is just an overview of what Laravel is, and a bit of the information that we needed to know before we start the actual installation and setting up our Laravel project. If you want to know more about this, please, you can go to the Laravel documentation. So in order to access the Laravel documentation, just come to your browser and type Laravel. Just come to your browser and type Laravel like this. So Laravel.com is where we have the Laravel documentation, and through this you learn everything from you'll get how to deploy. Documentation is here, so you can learn so many things, how to set up your Laravel project, how to create your first application, and anything that you need to know about Laravel. So let us get into our installation. So for you to run Laravel, we need three sets of softwares, which we have just mentioned previously. So one of them is the composer. Another thing is a code editor. So in this video, I'm going to use the Visual Studio Code editor, but there are other code editors that you can use, such as Atom, Sublime Text, or any one of your choice. Another thing that we are going to install is the XAMPP. So XAMPP is going to install for us the PHP server. Another thing, it's also going to give us the MySQL database. So let us check if I have XAMPP installed. So in my system, I already have XAMPP installation done. But as for you, if you don't have XAMPP installed in your system, just go to your browser. Just go to your browser and type XAMPP. So if you type XAMPP, just hit enter and click on the first link, which is the apachefriends.org website. So if you go to this website, you'll see different versions of PHP. So I'm running a Windows machine, and from here, you'll select the one that fits your machine. If you're using Windows, please, I recommend you to install this one here, PHP 8.2, because that is what Laravel 11 supports that we are going to install in this particular video. So because I have it installed in my system, I'm not going to download that. So the next thing that we need to install is Visual Studio Code. So let me just check in my system if I have Visual Studio Code. So my system do not have Visual Studio Code. So what are we going to do? If you are like me and you don't have Visual Studio Code installed in your system, just come to the browser here and type Visual Studio Code. So if you type Visual Studio Code, you'll find the software in code.visualstudio.com. So if you come to this website, just download the one that your machine supports. If you're running a Windows 64-bit, you can download this, or you can navigate to the one that your machine supports. So for example, if you're a Mac user, you'll find the link for downloading the version for Mac. And if you're a Linux user, the website will automatically detect your operating system and will recommend for you the version to install. So I have already downloaded mine, and what I'm going to do simply is to install it. So I'm going to run this installation. So if you want to do an installation, just double click on the file and wait for the installation process to begin. So you'll be prompted with this: do you want to run this file? So just click on run. Just accept the license agreement. Click next, 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 and then install. So let us wait for the installation process to take place. Yeah, our installation process is almost complete. Let's give it a few seconds. Yeah, so our Visual Studio Code installation is complete. We can click finish, and now if you search it here, Visual Studio Code, you can see that we have Visual Studio Code in our system now. So the third requirement that we need in order to run Laravel is Composer. So if you don't have Composer installed in your system, just come here and type on your browser Composer. So if you type Composer, you'll see getcomposer.org. So download Composer from this website, and you can download the latest version. You just click on download and you'll see the file. So for me, mine is already downloaded. So I'll just come in my folder where I've saved it and click on this setup here. So I'll double click on Composer setup, run, and then I'll do install for all users, which is the one recommended. And then just click next, 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 install. So with this, we have all our requirements for Laravel installed. So what are we going to do? So immediately you finish the installation of your XAMPP, just navigate to disk C, and move to this folder called XAMPP. And then inside XAMPP, there is htdocs folder. Delete all the files that are here. Delete all the files there, and then move to XAMPP again. So we are going to install our project into this folder here. So I'm going to open this folder using the terminal. So we are into this directory. So let us check if Composer is installed. So just come here and type composer -v. So if Composer is installed, we are supposed to see the version of the Composer that is installed. And as you can see, we have Composer version 2.8.6 installed in our system. Let us also check if PHP is installed. So just type php-v. And you can see we have PHP 0.8.8.2. So that means that we are ready to go, and we can now start by installing the Laravel. So let us come back to our presentation here, and let us move to the last slide. So we have verified the installation of Composer. We have also verified the installation of XAMPP, which has given us PHP. And now we are going to install Laravel using the global require. But before we go into that, I want us to move into this directory here, because there are a few things that we are supposed to do before we actually install we actually install Laravel using the Composer. So just move to your PHP folder, and then look for a php.ini file. So look for a file called php.ini. Open this file using Visual Studio Code or Notepad. So once the file is open, so type Command F on this file and search for extension equals zip. Extension equals zip. Extension equals zip. So let me figure out the file where we are supposed to edit this file. Just a minute. Just a minute, guys. I'm verifying the file directory where we are supposed to be making changes before we run our installation of Laravel. So let me do my search correctly. Let me highlight everything and search for on the php.ini file, because it seems this is where we're supposed. Yeah, so this is the line on php.ini file on line 962. I want you to uncomment this line here. So once you uncomment that line, just save and leave. So on your htdocs folder, I want you to now run an installation of Laravel using this command here. So let us copy this command, composer global, composer global require Laravel /installer, and hit enter. So when you run this command, this is actually going to install Laravel in our system. So let us give it a few minutes to complete the installation process. So it's going to download Laravel version 0.5, Laravel version 5.1. Yeah, and with this we have our installation complete. So let us see. So found two vulnerability advisories. So let me try creating a project, Laravel, new, then call it test app, test underscore app, Laravel new. So let's try creating an app using Laravel. So if actually our installation of Laravel is successful, this is now going to create a Laravel project. So we use Laravel new to create our new Laravel project. So when you're seeing this basically tells us that our installation of Laravel is correct and we can now set up our first Laravel project. So this is how you create a Laravel app. You just type Laravel new and then your app name. So let us continue. Which starter kit would you like to install? So for now, I'm not going to install any starter kits. I'll just say none. And then let's give it some minutes. Let's give it some minutes. So with this, our installation process is at this stage, and at this stage you are being asked which database will your application use. So we are going to use MySQL, and before we select MySQL, let us start our XAMPP. So search XAMPP, and you will click on the XAMPP control panel. Click on the XAMPP control panel, and once you have it on, you will see different modules here and services. So we are going to start Apache service and MySQL service. So before you do the database installation, ensure that you have your MySQL and Apache services running on the XAMPP control panel. So you'll come down here and you'll select MySQL and you type enter. So it's going to ask you default database updated. Would you like to run the default database migrations? So you're going to say yes. So with that, it's going to do our initial database migrations, and here you're being asked, would you like to run npm install? So for now, I don't want npm, and I'll say no. So let's cd into our project now. So we have our Laravel installation complete, and we have also created our first project. So let's do this. Let us just cd into our app. So cd is the command you use to navigate into the directory that you want. So so we are into our project directory. I'm going to open this directory using Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to use the command code dot so that I can open my folder using VS Code. So with this, we are already into our project folder, as you can see, and we have so many files inside here. But I'm not going to explain all these files now. This video was only meant to show you how to get your installation up and running, and let us test if our app is running. So just open the terminal here and say php artisan serve. So this is the command that we use to run our Laravel project. So once you type php artisan serve on the terminal on this directory, htdocs XAMPP htdocs test app, then you hit enter on your keyboard, and if the project installation is successful, you should see that the server is running on this port here, and we can follow this link to see our initial project and how it looks on the browser. So this is how our initial project setup looks like before we do any modifications. And when you see this basically means that your Laravel installation and your project, your first app creation has been successful. So guys, this is what I wanted to show you in this video. In the next video, we are going to learn more about these project files, and we are going to create our first good application using Laravel. So if you find this video helpful, please subscribe, like, share, and see you in the next video. Thank you.